You're listening to a special replay of Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. This program originally aired May 27th, 1994. Please do not call.
Preston Nichols is my guest. He's a man who was involved in the Montauk Project, and we're finding out what the Montauk Project is all about, and it's more than just its apparent involvement in related weapons systems development that was going on with the Philadelphia experiment, but mind control, apparently, and more. Preston Nichols is my guest. The Montauk Project, kind of a follow-up on the Philadelphia experiment, is the topic. And I promise we will get the telephone lines open into the next hour. Those of you just joining us at this hour, my guest is Preston Nichols, and he worked on the Montauk Project. Preston now is semi-retired and lives in East Islip, New York. And he's been telling us about the Montauk Project. Incredible things. Travel through time, space possibly, I guess both. Mind control, mind amplifiers, thought amplifiers, that's what we're talking about. Now, back to Preston Nichols and the Montauk Project. Preston, are you there?
Yep.
There. For Preston Nichols on the wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Bourbon, Missouri.
All right, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Go ahead.
Anyway, I wonder if you ever heard of a guy named Edward Teller.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you
Rocket
ever read
scientist.
his book on the astrometrical universe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in there you realize that he talks about the unlimited power that is available through the antimatter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a man who's very credible because he invented was largely responsible for the invention of the atomic bomb.
And he's also a rocket scientist.
And he's also a rocket scientist. That's absolutely correct. But we also know, you and I know anyway, and I don't know how many other people know, but he was also instrumental in some of the accelerators where they actually created antimatter.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And when you have antimatter meet real matter, you have 100% conversion of energy.
Right, that's not good.
Well,
if you can tap it, that can be quite useful.
But it can be quite useful. And the fact of the matter is that you have an unlimited power source.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
When you consider the basic equation of E is equal to mc squared.
Yeah, we just heard that a minute ago.
That's right. You have a tremendous amount of power that is available in
Consider the power of one neutron, sir, accelerated the speed of light.
That's right. And when you have that much
something
power,
like a megawatt.
That's right. And when you have that much power, you could consider what 1 ounce of real matter versus 1 ounce of antimatter could do. And somewhere in our future, this is our new power source.
Well, I think in certain sectors, this is our power source today.
You think it's already being utilized?
Oh, yeah. I've seen evidence of it.
God, you know, they talk about the danger of a nuclear plant going south and a meltdown, but if
one of these accelerators goes south.
Well, that was my question, Preston. If one of these were to go south, it seems to me the planet would sort of blink out.
It might. We've often been, friends of mine and myself, the nuclear physicists, have often been joking. Well, someday we'll say, gee, there used to be nice land out at Montauk. The particle accelerator went south, and now there's a black hole there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, most of these accelerators, from what I understand, I'm not a nuclear physicist, but I know 3 of them. They tell me that they use neutrons. I think we're all well aware of neutron radiation.
Yes.
And a nuclear medicine doctor that checked me out said that most likely I got hit with neutron radiation. Probably what happened as I was walking over the accelerator. Yes, they'll allow you to walk over the damn thing. They must have had a burp in the path, and it made a burst of neutron radiation, and we all got it.
I see.
We all had itchy sores and sickness and felt disoriented for a couple of days afterwards. There aren't these nice guys that They don't shut off the area where the accelerator is. They let you walk around that.
All right, on the wild card line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Art. Yes, sir. I had a question for your guest. Before the last commercial break, he spoke briefly about him and some of his colleagues turning against this project because things were getting, he said, evil. If you could, have him expand on that and tell us a little bit more about exactly what he meant by the evil nature the project was taking.
All right, where are you, please? All right, where are you?
Oh, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, all right. Back to the telephone lines, and let's see what questions everybody has. On the toll-free line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Hello, Art. This is Leonard from Albany, Oregon, and I've been listening to you and your guest, and the one thing you said just before the news were talking about all the bad things going on around the country, you know, the shootings and the mindless crimes and that kind of thing. But what I'm wondered about is actually changing the mind of people so that they might vote in a
certain way.
In a certain way, you know, like, and I've wondered about that sometimes when the polls, you know, say so and so is way ahead, and here comes a competitor charging out of the woodwork, you know, with no apparent change in his campaign tactics, and all of a sudden. And I know there's, you know, the surveys, even the most scientific ones, have a margin of error, but sometimes it just almost looks like it's unexplainable. And I'm wondering if they're already doing something like that, if that might be an explanation for it.
All right, it is a good question. Preston, do you think, something that specific, trying to get somebody to vote or act in a certain way, it certainly is possible from what you've been telling us, right?
It's possible. And what he's saying might be correct. I really don't know. I don't know where they're using this stuff tonight.
Wildcard line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Yes, my name is Charlie. I had two quick questions for you, sir. The first thing is on time travel. Einstein was asked a question on time travel once, and he brought up a very interesting situation, saying that if you were to travel back in time and prevent yourself from being born, you would create an absurdity because you already exist. And since absurdities don't exist in science, doesn't that mean that that time travel as far as going backwards is impossible?
It's not impossible. It's just you become part of history.
Mm-hmm.
And you really can't affect history because you become part of it.
Wouldn't it mean that there would have to be almost two different... Is it possible that there might be two realities, parallel realities?
This is what's being suggested by quantum physicists today and a lot of other people. Parallel realities is what comes out of the whole metaphysical thing as well.
So let me understand this. There could be a reality which is just as valid, that I, Charlie, am actually, say, a host of a radio show, and say Art Bell is actually a liberal calling in. That could actually be a reality in another parallel existence.
There are some people that say what you think up in your mind is a parallel reality.
That's very interesting. One last point. I had been in a debate with a fellow, I think he was a Christian or something. Anyway, he was under the impression that the Earth was very young, about 6,000 years old. Clear this up. I mean, you're a scientist.
I don't know where he got that from.
Clear this up. Explain to the audience, because there's a lot of people out there who don't have any scientific knowledge. Could you quickly, I know this is a little bit off the subject, but could you quickly explain to people out in the audience who are listening why it's unlikely that the Earth is that young?
All right, thanks, John.
Because there are many rocks that have been dated to be millions, billions of years old.
Well, that's a good answer, short, sweet answer, but you would say it is impossible the Earth would be that young.
That's what I would say, because, you know, the whole dating system and the sedimentary system that we have goes way beyond that age, way beyond.
All right, on the first-time caller line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Yes, I have two questions. One of them, I was interested in, Al Bielek talked about age regression, and I was interested if Preston Nichols knew exactly how to pull this off.
All right, where are you, sir?
St. Louis, Missouri, and I have one more question.
All right.
Quick question. I have a book called Mind Machines You Can Build by G. Harry Stein, and in the book it's a little diagram on an instrument he called a wishing machine.
A what machine?
A wishing machine.
Wishing?
Yes, it uses with the device. He says that it was, I guess, originally built back in the 40s, and he says it uses a audio amplifier, a couple of copper plates, an antenna, a 6-volt battery, and a couple other little simple things like that. And he said that you would use a pitcher, and you would put it in between the 2 copper plates.
This sounds like a radionics device.
Maybe so. Like I say, the name of the book is Mind Machines You Can Build.
Right.
But with this device, they said at long distances they could, like a 20-acre cornfield that was infested with bugs or whatever, that they would have a 90% kill rate just by consciously focusing on the pitcher.
Yeah, this is typical radionics. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, to answer the man's first question.
Age regression.
Age, not age. Age. A-G-E.
Right.
Probably talking of.
Right.
I'm not going to say this is impossible, because we have theories today which are stating that there's an energy lattice, a energetic replication of the DNA of the human being, which is magnetically coupled in the genome, in the DNA, and that there are many levels of DNA, and aging is essentially the loss of control of the differentiation of the DNA from the quantum electromagnetic pattern that we're calling a lattice. If you can somehow restore this control, theoretically you could grow back to whatever portion of the DNA you would activate. Now, Al speaks of being age regressed back to a 1-year-old baby. I don't know whether or not the DNA is still there for that. If it is, I don't think it's impossible to do. Now, also, I run into one other person that the only thing that explains what's happened to him, and he's being truthful, I feel, is some sort of age regression. Now, I have not heard reports from other sources on this. See, when I hear a report like this, I consider where it's coming from, and I like to get maybe 5 or 6 reports saying, yes, age regression has happened. I haven't had it. I've only had Al Bielek himself, one other source which I don't consider at all credible, and now the one we run into very recently. So again, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but also I think it's a quite fantastic story that I wish was true. I'd like to have it myself.
Yeah, you betcha. Look, if it is possible to travel in time,
and I don't know how to do age regression.
Right, I was going to ask you, Preston, if it's possible to travel in time, and I went back to, say, 1950, my chronological age at the end of the travel would still be what it is at just roughly the moment I left, wouldn't it?
Yes, exactly. This is why I think if you're going to do age regression, you got to do something through the DNA.
Through the DNA.
You got to somehow change the differentiation to go back to the genome that you were replicating when you're like 20 years old, let's say.
Well, that would be
the body would grow young.
That would be a very delicate genetic manipulation indeed, wouldn't it?
It may be electromagnetic.
Electromagnetic.
Because it's being suggested by a lot of learned geneticists that Dr. Glenn Ryan has shown a lot of research that subtle or quantum electromagnetic waves do affect the way the double helix is wrapped up in spiral.
All right, Preston, hold it right there. We'll be back after the bottom of the hour break. Preston Nichols is my guest. anything, and a moment later said, why'd I do that? Mind control? Or just a bit of aberrant human behavior because of random firing of synapses? Well, who knows? Might have been, might be possible. Anyway, we're talking to Preston Nichols. He's written about the Montauk Project, talking about the Montauk Project this morning, and much more. If you have a question, pick up the telephone. Here's a fax from Dennis in Missoula, Montana. Art, please, in all seriousness, ask your guest if he knows anything about the nine rulers of the White Lodge. Sounds strange to me.
Does to me, too.
You haven't heard of the 9 rulers of the White Lodge?
No, that's a new one on me. I've heard of the Order of 12 and that sort of thing.
But not the 9. All right.
No.
Well, that disposes of that quickly. On the toll-free line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Yes, hi, Art.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm from Long Island originally, and I just recently moved about a year and a half ago.
Where are you now?
I'm in Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay.
And now I'm 28 years old, and I'm intelligent. I know for a fact that I've got a 138 IQ, borderline genius. Yet at the same time, I've always wondered why I was never in tune with what was going on politically. I never could quite understand the political process.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. No, I'm from Suffolk County. I'm from Huntington.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved in, it was July of 91 rather. July of 91, I moved from Suffolk County. I moved into Elmont in Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
That was where I had...
So we call Suffering County and Nauseous County.
Yeah. That was where I first started listening to political commentary on talk radio.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I moved to New Orleans, and I really started to get involved. I started to know what was going on.
Well, what's the question?
Yeah, what is the question? How does this relate to my guest, sir?
Well, what I'm saying is, you're talking about mind control.
Mm-hmm.
As fantastic as it sounds, it's starting to make a little bit of sense to me. I don't know.
This is what a lot of people say, considering...
I was completely blind.
Considering
blind
what's
when I was
happening, there's a lot going on.
Uh-huh.
That will fit this. Art was talking about the people just all of a sudden shooting.
It confounds me how I was so blind until I moved out of Suffolk County, until I moved off of Long Island, really. Now I'm just
here you're sitting right in the midst of this emanation.
Exactly. It just sounds so fantastic. In Art, I can tell by your voice, by the entire conversation you've been having, it just sounds so fantastic. But it makes sense. I don't know.
Well, all right, thank you.
It's based in real science, sir.
Yeah, I have learned long ago not to stick up my nose at what appears to be fantastic because I've been surprised too many times. And I'm sure of this, Preston, that wonderful.
Well, you have to consider, what is the synaptic interchange? It's essentially ionic, and what is ionic?
Yes, it's true. No, it's absolutely true.
If you can create interference from one particle to another particle, you can modulate.
All right, I've got a caller. On the wild card line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Oh, hello, Art.
Hi.
This is Lance in Seattle, KBI.
Okay.
That mind control device that he's talking about is manufactured here. It's in a suitcase. It's like a small suitcase, and it says on the side of it, for animal control use only. And when it's used for people control, you can call the FCC and file a complaint, and they know all about it. It's nothing new.
Well, it sure is new to me. What is it?
It's been around since about 80.
What is it? What is it, sir?
Well, it just focuses on a specific part of the brain, and then your mind starts to look in that area, and you can see things in your own mind and hear things. It sounds like you're in a room full of people, and there's nobody around, or you can see eyes blinking in front of you and all kind of things. It's all in your own mind. It's not outside your mind like a hologram. But it does exist, and it doesn't take anything except call the FCC to find out.
Well, I've never seen one. I've never heard of one.
Well, just thought I'd add it to your program, sir.
All right, thank you. I've never... Have you heard of such thing?
I've heard rumors of it. I've heard rumors that this has been developed for years. See, what they're working there, that's mood control more than anything, I think.
I know
work.
Can't deal with it. All right, on the wild card line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Good morning.
Okay, talk about time travel, right?
Yep.
Do you think time travel like happens in your psychic ability, your dreams?
Yeah, some people believe that.
Okay, now how can they apply this to technology and science and stuff?
Essentially, by taking what a person can dream or generating a virtual reality and transmitting it through a very powerful transmitter and bringing it into our physical reality.
All right, sir, thank you. That's exactly how it was done. In other words, wild card line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Nichols. How are you doing?
Okay.
Art, I tell you what, I wouldn't have bought this for a second if there wasn't something really weird going on in the world today. But my question is, and Linda Thompson talked about the holograph, and you were talking about cracking into the underworld. Could this be described as hell?
Hell is whatever you make it.
Well, I'm talking about, the biblical aspects of what you're describing in the underworld. And have you ever seen any alien beings?
All right. Preston, have you?
Yes, I've seen some alien beings.
You have?
Who or what they are beats the hell out of me.
On the toll-free line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Art. This is Sean calling from Last Best Place.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Mr. Nichols. With the very low frequency, could we manipulate the weather to use the weather as a pattern for weapons against other countries, such as lightning?
This is called weather war.
Weather war, yeah. I read about it in a book called The Third Millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with that book?
I think it is correct.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
All right, thank you. So you think the weather is being manipulated, Preston?
By somebody.
Do you think we're doing it, or do you think the Russians are doing it, or are we both doing it and getting it all screwed up?
Who knows? I don't know. Somebody is manipulating the weather, because I have picked up the signals. All you got to do is tune your HF receiver, and you'll discover increases in what appears to be the background noise over as little as 300 kilohertz band spread.
And that's some sort of spread spectrum?
Yeah, that's some sort of spread spectrum. And if you take that signal and analyze it either amplitude versus time or frequency versus time, you'll get patterns that will appear in the noise.
I see. All right.
And that's not natural.
Not natural. No, it is not natural. You're right about that.
And it goes up about 30 to 40 dB.
I've actually heard it myself.
Yeah, I hear it all the time, and I've been looking, what the hell have we got here?
Yep.
This may be involved in the weather control, because this seems to precede weather fronts. Also, this same kind of signal precedes hurricanes that are brought right up to a particular area. You notice how the hurricanes are now taking nice straight paths?
Absolutely.
That's not normal for a hurricane. A hurricane is a centrifugal thing, and as the wall builds and depletes, it should spin and move and gyrate all over the map. No, they're going very straight at this point.
Wildcard line, you're on the air with Preston Nichols. Hello.
Yeah, Art. I'm curious. These kind of projects have to involve great deals of money.
No doubt about it.
And
no doubt, yes.
And they say to solve all mysteries, you follow the money trail.
True.
Isn't anybody checking what's going on? I mean, if Area 51 exists, there's got to be billions going into that. And if he's talking, there's got to be billions going into this. Is anybody keeping track of the money?
Well,
find out? Are the senators aware of this?
All right. Hold on a sec. That's a good question. All I can tell you is this. I don't know about what Preston's saying, but I can tell you darn well Area 51 does exist. Billions do go into it, and that's a fact. And so, Preston, what about the money angle in Montauk?
Well, we had an interest from the office of Senator Barry Goldwater, quite a few in the middle 80s. And I was told that they could not trace any congressional appropriations for the Montauk Project. Now, I was handed a list of companies here on Long Island that all either reorganized or out of business today.
Uh-huh.
The interesting thing to note is right after this happened, about 6 months to a year later, they started what they call core audits. They said they were looking for the $250 toilet seat. Why would they go ask the worker on the floor, what are you working on? The only reason they'd ask the worker on the floor, what are you working on, is they're looking for hidden projects. Montauk was a hidden project. There's rumors that the Montauk Project was financed by gold smuggled from the Nazis. We really don't know. This is something that Al Bielek has suggested.
All right. Preston, hold on a moment. We'll be right back to you. My guest is Preston Nichols. He's talking about the Montauk Project. All right, back now to Preston Nichols. Preston? Well, it also raises an awful lot of questions.
Yes, it does.
Well, for example, Preston, not just the shootings, the mindless head-shaker shootings that are going on, but society's behavior in general
is strange.
Is very strange indeed, and
yes,
is deteriorating, in my view, and the view of most others who stand back and view it. Things are out of control. People, the state of civilization is less. People's tempers are short. And when it's the worst case, they're picking up guns and shooting each other.
Well, how would you react if you had a hammer pounding on your head continuously?
You'd eventually get irritated and do something awful.
Right. You got to think of all this stuff that they're sending out into the ethers, purposefully or accidentally, is like someone sitting tapping on your head with a hammer.
Well, it's true. It is true. It does.
Yeah. That's how they get 90-odd% efficiencies.
You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
You'll find I do know radio and electronics.
Yes, you obviously do. And I guess you could easily be right about the pulsed aspect of it.
Well, the neurological system operates on a pseudo-random ordered pulse function. You read any book on brain activity, that's the first thing they say. If you take the neurological signal out of a nerve, put it into an audio amplifier, it sounds like static.
Well, it has been a pleasure, Preston. I know you're on the East Coast in New York, and so it's...
I'm watching the sunrise right now.
Yeah, there you are. All right, Preston, a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, and the pleasure's been mine, sir.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Preston Nichols and the Montauk Project.